Hello my lovelies, and welcome to today's video. I'm so glad you came by. My name's Alya, and today we're going to be doing a really fun video. We're going to be really honing in and concentrating super hard on eyeliners, and I know that there's been a lot of requests to break down the eyeliner, and I've tried to incorporate it into many of my other makeup tutorials, so feel free to have a look through the catalog and see if there's others that might make sense to you if this one doesn't. But I'm going to really try to break it down. But in true tradition of this channel, I'm going to be also talking a little bit about a wonderful 50s icon. Gina Lollobrigida is an actress and a film cinematographer who, or photojournalist I should say, who born in 1927, so she's 92 now. This is an actress who was huge in the 50s and 60s and didn't let retirement get her down, and just evolved and changed and became a photojournalist after her film career was at a standstill. She's an amazingly gorgeous lady, Italian actress. She was friends with Marilyn Monroe. She has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. You know, she's got an amazing history over the last century. So I really urge you to look into her. Aside from being an absolutely gorgeous lady and a talented woman, you know, she came up during a very interesting time for women in film. Very interesting, having read up about her, so if you would like to look into it too, I definitely encourage you to do so. But the reason I've chosen her is because I haven't covered her before in any of my other videos. I didn't even really know who she was before I looked her up tonight. But she has this amazing eyeliner, which most of the Hollywood actresses of the time did. And it's also very fitting that she's an Italian actress, because my best friend, who's Italian, will have her birthday when this video goes up. So it all kind of ties in, and it's just a little bit too poetic to ignore. So I'm going to go into how I do my liner. So let's get some face on and come back and concentrate on the eyes. I've had this color here and this color here in my crease today, so I use a brush like this for the lighter color. I think it's Tumbleweed, just going through like this all the way through to almost the inner corner, same both eyes. And then you take a smaller sort of blending brush, something with a round fluffy head, and just small circles like that through the crease, and you end up with this little finish here. And it's really nice because it just gives you that little bit of lift straight away onto the eye, so you don't have the droopiness, especially if you've got hooded lids like I do. So those colors were Tumbleweed and Mesquite from the Joshua Tree palette, which is amazing. You know what, 2-3 good palettes, that's all you need. I know the beauty community won't agree, but it's kind of true. It's also true is that given the chance to get a bajillion more, I will. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a few different ways that I would go about this. The first thing I'm going to show you is with a marker or a felt tip liner, because I feel like they're the most commonly found these days from what I've seen other people use. So let's start with that one. So this is the tip that I would highly recommend you get. It's flexible. It's a lot like a calligraphy pen or texter. So if I just show you, kind of, I'm not really looking at what I'm doing, just to show you how much control I get with this sort of thing. Right, like it's very easy. You can draw a beautiful straight line, you can draw an arc, it's all kind of easy, thin, thick, all possible. I personally really love this product because it's so controllable. So what I would do with something like this is I would typically start at the inner corner, and do something like that. So I'm just starting to create my shape. I also would definitely go back in afterwards and extend into the nose a bit. Now you'll feel when you're drawing it on like you're drawing on your actual bridge. I promise you, you're not. Technically speaking, the eye continues all the way up until this bone here, and you'll sort of feel it if you press down. It's like a bump, and then another bump from where your nose is. It doesn't matter how prominent your bridge is, we all have the little bump in there where our tear duct kind of structure finishes, and there's like more drainage kind of finishes. And then you've also got like the bridge, which everyone's is different. So once you've got the beginnings of a line down there, I like to then sort of figure out what kind of a wing I'm going for today. So typically it changes depending on my mood, but we're going to go with what Miss Gina is sporting in this picture here. It's not a hugely extreme liner, but it's definitely an extreme of the natural. So it's not going too crazy, but it's also not subtle. So for that, I think that we're not going to go beyond the brow, that's for sure, and we're not going to go too high up. So around about sort of there. Okay, very light mark. You probably can't even see it on the camera, but I know where it is. And the idea is to make a line that connects the brow if we were to connect it with the eye. So that's the kind of angle we want to take. So make sure you're doing it with an open eye, but perhaps looking down. And this is my problem always, I overstretch the skin. Try not to, try just to hold it down at the brow. And once again, just light feathery strokes. Okay, now this is the part where you just have to trust yourself. So pressing down nice and firm, we're going to go all the way from the beginning across and tracing up on the line until I get a nice straight line looking down. So when you look up, you get a flick, and when you look down, it's a nice continuous line. Next, what you want to do is again try and connect in your mind the very edge of the lower lid there with that point there. So like that. But in this particular look, for the one that Gina's wearing, we don't want to do a connection here. We just want to do an imaginary one. So we're not going to fill in this outer corner yet. First, we're going to try and very closely, using feathery strokes again, trace the lower lashes only until where the iris starts. So obviously thinner in the inside and a little bit thicker towards the outside. And we're going to create a little V there too. So once again, pressing down a little harder on the bulk of the tip when you're trying to do a thicker line. Okay. There it is. And a lot of the time you will need a Q-tip just to clean it up, but that one turned out pretty nice. So, and the imaginary connection of the two. So now that we have that space created, we can then finish off the top lashes, tracing them down, and make a little V. Isn't that gorgeous? So you get this beautiful little space, which if you'd like, you can use some light eyeshadow to really bring it out. So let's see, I think we'll use just a very small flat brush, and I'm going to dip into Mystic, or any kind of color that's sort of, you know, nudish and shiny. That one's very shiny. That one catches light beautifully, so that's why I went for that one. Just very light horizontal sort of strokes. Just brings out that inner corner color just a bit more, and then I'm going to define it a little harder now. There we go. That's just to really stand out, because with the eyeshadow there, it just made it a little bit duller looking. Okay, so that's what you got there in that inner corner. I think it's smashing. So pretty. It'll of course stand out a lot more once the lashes are done, but such a simple eyeshadow. There's nothing in the inner corner yet, and yet you get this beautiful effect already. The other type of liquid eyeliner that you can get is this sort of deal. So you get this little dipping container and then a sort of thicker felt tip there. These are very common. They're all over Sephora. I've seen about 100 different styles like this. And we're going to do the pretty much same thing where we sort of mark out where we want to go. But with this type of thing, I actually prefer to start on the outside. And I think it's because the applicator is a lot smaller or something like that. I'm not sure, whether there's just a little bit less control with this one. So I feel like I have to really get this wing right first. See what works for you. I think this is the way to go. Okay, so make sure that they're matching. So with this one, as you saw, that's it. It's dry, so I've got to go in for another dip. So giving it a good shake was always very important, and making the two match. Okay, so I already know where I need to put my V and all that sort of stuff, so it's a lot easier to do a fully finished out of V there. And then what you do is, once again, you change the angle of your brush and you do feathery little strokes. This one's nowhere near as flexible as the other. And then swap angles and same thing, feathery little strokes. Another dip. I actually really love this particular bottle design for the inner corner to get that closeness with this, but I prefer the felt kind of glide that happens. It's actually ironically called a glide pen wherever it went. Glide liquid eyeliner. Because it does, it just glides across the top of your lid. Okay, so same thing with the bottom lashes. We're going to just do little feathery strokes. Be very gentle with this thing because it's far more pigmented, I find, because it's just been dipped straight into the product, whereas that one's waiting for a felt to fill up with product. So very lightly. you're basically like tattooing with this one, whereas with the other one you're kind of actually pressing hard like on texture. I'm just going to take a clean little brush here, it doesn't matter what one, it's just to soften finish here. Okay, same thing, it's going to go in with a bit of the Mistake, filling in that gap, just tapping on. Okay, and I'm actually going to go in same brush with a bit of a darker color called Protection. This one like that, also very shimmery. I'm just going to go all the way around this and just shine and shimmer that inner corner, because it feels a bit empty to me at the moment. Okay, what are you guys thinking so far? Looking very 50s glam and very sultry, I think, so far. So I've already got one layer of mascara on, and you guys probably heard me speak about this before if you're not new here, and if you are, hi, welcome. I'm going to be saying this a lot. Most good mascaras, which especially those that are using beeswax as their preservative as opposed to some chemical, are going to build up really, really nicely. So get a very sort of not overfilled brush, so you don't want too much product at all on the brush, which don't pump it basically, never pump mascara. It's just not a good idea. And then what you do is just on the tips, you just kind of, I don't know, it's a bit like a shoe shine, like you just want to do the very, very tip, little flicky actions, and what you'll find is that you're just growing the lashes. Okay, if they're starting to get clumpy, what I sometimes do, this isn't going to happen with this mascara, but should it happen, is you go from the top, do a slow brush out, and then again up, just to curl them, open them, extend them. And there you go. Pretty schmink. Okay, so of course I've got the dark red lip on, because how could you not with this look, right? And of course the leopard, because again, Hollywood glam, it's got to be either black and white polka dot or a leopard. I feel like it's got to be something really statementy. So I'm just going to take a little bit of a matching lip gloss, and just in the middle, just deposit a little bit of that product in the middle, and then with a lipstick brush, just smooth it out. The other thing is for Hollywood glam, I feel like this is, obviously you've got the contour and all that sort of thing, that part is probably quite necessary no matter what you're going for, because you want to shape your face correctly. But for this one I feel like we need a little bit of blush. And there it is, just some rosy, some very, very light pink blush, just whatever you've got lying around will generally do the job. It's very generic pink blush. But just to really give that sort of girly glow, something with a bit of shimmer means you probably don't need a highlighter on top of that, but you can definitely go for it if you need a bit more dimension in your upper cheek. Up to you guys. I also put a little bit across the bridge of the nose, because we're not doing the whole bronzer trick, so just to really highlight the right places and, you know, soften the right places, things like that. Okay, my lovelies, I hope that after today's tutorial you are feeling a lot more confident with your winged liner, with your liquid liner. I hope you're going to try it as well. The other thing I was going to speak about before I discovered this beautiful actress is that these sort of products are very pigmented. So what's really fun about that is you can go for colour. So beautiful silver there, blue. You can really go mad with the colours, because of the deposit of pigment that you get on the eye, you can really go for just about any color under the sun, and it's just beautiful and really, really stands out. Now, none of these are natural products. I'm yet to find a non-toxic version of these. Believe me, the second I'm onto it, you will know about it, so watch this space. I hope you did indeed enjoy today's tutorial. If you did, please remember to hit like, and if you haven't subscribed already, you'll know about it because it's a big red square down there, so just click onto it. All it means is that when you go on YouTube, it'll tell you which videos I've uploaded, so I think it's a fun little thing to have, and I love this little group and I love watching it grow, so it's very, very nice of you to do so. More bits and pieces and more about my crazy life and my extremely full bucket, and my very, very happy full bucket, please go over to Instagram. There's always things going on there, and tags and whatnot, so I'm very excited to share all the really fun things that I'm a part of over there. I hope you're staying safe out there. I hope things are calm, isolation and COVID wise wherever you are, and that you're generally well and happy and looking after each other, and I can't wait to see you on the next one. Bye.